welcome to Yoga Flow. And we are going to start today's practice, as I said, back on our backs. This practice is, taking place live here on a cloudy, gloomy start to the week, Monday morning. So hopefully this class will bring you some sunshine, will bring you some moments of quiet and clarity, but also bring new energy and life into your physical body. So, like I said, let's go ahead and start on our backs if you're not already there. It might feel nice to go ahead and start flat, or maybe with knees bent, or even knees hugged all the way into your chest. Whatever feels good to you as you start to make a little grounding connection with the earth. Take just a quiet moment to check in with your breath. See how you're breathing today. Is it shallow? Could your breath be a little fuller as you start your practice? What pieces of energy can you bring into this place, this space here on your mat? So if your legs have been long, I want you to go ahead and bend your knees. Walk your feet up your mat so that the knees are pointed up towards the ceiling, but the back is nice and relaxed and flat on the earth. Bring your hands to let them rest on the belly. And I want you to kind of think about your belly as expanding in two different directions, or growing, moving. So as you inhale, I want to see if the belly can grow a little higher up towards the ceiling. You might even feel it kind of expand east-west. And then as you exhale, let the belly button drop down towards your spine. See if your spine can grow a little longer, north-south. So sometimes when I do this style of breathing, it's even helpful to let my fingers kind of slide east-west on the inhale. Let them come back together and then grow tall north-south. Extend my spine on the exhale. So just take just a couple more breaths, really encouraging a deep diaphragmatic breath. Your eyes are soft or closed. The muscles of your face are a little bit more relaxed. You're just trying your best to be present in this space. Slowing down that heart rate, bringing the body out of fight or flight. And starting this practice today with kind of a blank slate. I'm going to start adding a little bit of movement. It feels good in my body. I'm going to bring my hands off the belly, let them maybe reach out to the side if space allows. And just let your knees start to windshield wiper from one side to the other. That little gentle twisting motion, opening up side body, ribs. And then next time your knees are over to the right, let's go ahead and let them stay there just for a moment. Maybe even stack them on top of one another. You might even bring your left hand to add just a little gentle pressure right there on the outer edge of those knees. And then we'll switch it to the other side. Send the knees all the way over into the opposite direction. Hand comes down, touches the top outer edge of that knee. Add the twist. Relax the chest, the arms, the face. Perfect. Start to bring those knees back to center, and let's hug them into the chest. I'm going to bring my hands to the tops of the kneecaps and just give this a little bit of circling. Maybe it feels good to add life to your toes as well here. So you kind of point and flex the toes or start rolling around the ankles. And then we're just going to go from bent to extend, and then bend to extend. So all I'm really trying to focus on here is just slowly opening up the back sides of my legs, getting a little movement into those knees. When I push my feet up, maybe I even flex the feet and start to feel the hamstrings turn on. Just continue to kind of bend and extend. All right, the next time those knees are bent, go ahead and keep them in close. Rock and roll a little side to side. And then we'll start to rock and roll forward and back until you can come up to a seat. I'm going to turn just so I can see you a little easier here. Hands reaching out to the sides of you. Spine is nice and tall. Lift the chin up and then bring it down towards your chest. 2 more just like that. Chin lifts on the inhale. Glides down towards the chest on the exhale. 1 more round. Chin lifts on the inhale. Towards the chest on the exhale. Sweeping the chin ever so slowly right and left. Right and left. Head comes back up over spine. Right ear moves towards right shoulder. Maybe even right hand comes up to place just some gentle pressure. Inhale, head back towards center. Let's go the other way. Opposite hand is over. Gentle pull. Back towards center. Beautiful work. Let's go ahead and find hands and knees, looking for tabletop. Today I'm going to show you a little exercise to work on wrist strength. So I want you to look for the table. Wrists right underneath shoulders, knees right underneath hips. I want you to see if you can ground through your finger pads, so the tops of the fingers, and see if you can just barely lift the heel of the hand up off the mat and then set it back down. So your hands are on the earth, finger pads down, you're lifting just the heels up and then placing them back down. Now it doesn't have to be a big lift because you'll feel this pretty quick. Your forearms will turn on, the muscles around the wrist itself will turn on. Now I want you to see if you can turn your hands outward, so fingers towards the outer edges of the mat. Repeat the same exercise, trying to lift just the heels of the hand up off the earth. And you're not trying to build anything huge underneath those hands, just a little lift. Try turning the hands in, fingertips towards one another, and repeat again. All right, hands go back forward, flip so that the palms face the sky, and then just sit back towards those heels for child's pose. Stretching the top edges of those wrists, getting them ready for some strengthening poses today, letting them be with us throughout this practice. Hands coming back down and flat, go back to table, cat-cow when you're ready, belly dropping on the inhale. Back rounding on the exhale. Stay in this shape, keep moving. Two more. From this tabletop, hands take one big hand step out in front, toes curl under, hips lift up, downward facing dog. First one, walk it out. Nice work. All right, as you feel ready, small steps of the feet, walking forward towards your hands. First, hanging forward fold of today's practice. Head is hanging down towards the earth. Use blocks anytime you need them today. Keep them close by. And inhale lifts you up halfway, long spine. Exhale folds you down towards the earth. Inhale, reach the hands as high as they can go. Maybe they connect and touch up top. Exhale, just go right into a forward fold. Send this down towards the earth. Inhale, bring it up halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the feet strong and steady. Inhale, hands reach up, look up. Exhale, sweep the hands down to the sides of the body. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach it up. Fold it down. Maybe hands slide through prayer right across the chest and then down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. Inhale, back to standing, hands reach up. Let them touch high prayer above the head. Exhale, let them sweep down to the sides of the body. Inhale, reach hands behind. See if perhaps they can lace open the chest. If lacing doesn't work for us today, hands can comfortably set themselves on your low back. One breath here. Next natural exhale, release the hands from that grip, reach them up and fold down to the earth. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back to the back of the mat. Drop the right knee down into the earth just for a breath. Sweep the hands up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step front foot to the back of the mat. Downward facing dog. Walk it out. Left knee drops down into the mat. Step the right foot all the way up between your hands. One breath. Hands lift up. Exhale, come back down. Find the floor or your block. Step back. Downward facing dog. Walk it out. Small steps with the feet. Take your time. Walk them up to find your hands. Find the half lift when the body feels ready. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands high as they can go, palm to palm. And then let them come down to the sides of the body. Lace the hands behind. Inhale, breath, open chest. Exhale, breath, let the hands sweep up high above head again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back. This time, keep the right knee up off the floor, low lunge. Maybe add a set of blocks under the hands. Inhale, breath. Keep right hand on the earth or on a block. Open with the left up towards the sky. Check this front knee. Make sure it stays in a nice good line with that toe, with your ankle rather. Perfect. Unwind from the twist. Hands come back to blocks. Separate the blocks off the mat. Plant them. Plant the hands rather. Step that front foot to the back of the mat. Walk it out. Small steps or a large leap. Feet come to hands. Walking forward, finding the half lift when you feel ready. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands high to the sky. Let them come together, palm to palm. Exhale, hands to the side. Reach around back. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, release the hands. Let them reach up. Fold to the earth. Left foot steps back this time. Keep that knee up off the earth. Maybe look for your set of blocks again. Setting ourselves down, low lunge, runner's lunge, whatever you want to call this. Ankle and knee in a nice good line. Energy pulling out through the crown of the head. Left hand moves towards the inside of that front foot as we release the right hand and add twist. Of course, anytime we take these big shapes, if it feels better for you to drop this knee, you're always welcome to. One more full breath. Keep those fingers extending, reaching up into space. Hands come down to earth, separate blocks, make space for your hands. Hands go to earth, step front foot all the way to the back. Downward facing dog. We'll walk this again. Right foot's gonna lift nice and high into the air, three-legged dog. As you exhale, see if you can bring right knee forward towards your nose. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee towards nose. Good breathing. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee towards nose. Go ahead and drop this knee down to the ground. Place it just behind that right wrist. 2 breaths and just a high pigeon. So we're not really dropping down. We're not surrendering into the pose. Just a nice, good hip opener early on. Perfect. Toes curl under on this back foot. Lift yourself back to look for downward dog. Walk it out. Left foot extends high into the sky, three-legged dog. Other side, knee to nose. Back up tall. Keep extending, looking for that strength. Last one, this time knee will set down right behind that wrist. Looking for a high pigeon, knee will drop, toes settle in, keep the arms up, hips nice and square. Good, toes curl under on back foot. Lifting all the way back up to downward dog. Knees drop to ground, walk the hands back towards your heels, flip the palms to the sky, take a child's pose, 3 breaths, relaxing those wrists. One more nice solid breath here. And then hands start to walk back forward. Let's wake back up. Downward facing dog. Hips lift high, upside down V. Walk it up. And then feet start to move forward towards your hands. Hang in that forward fold, head hanging down towards earth. Shake it, yes. And low, half lifting when the spine feels ready. Long extension on that inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands as high as you can make them go. Exhale, hands to heart. Ground into Dasana. Hands touching mountain pose. North-south spine, really reaching crown towards the ceiling. When you feel ready, right foot starts to absorb for balance. Left toes leave the earth, and we find ourselves in a flamingo shape. One more nice breath here. As you feel ready, we'll take these toes and just try to point them right back behind you. If the spine feels good, you might find yourself tipping a little bit more into more of a warrior 3. Giving another breath. Toes come down and touch the mat. You're in a nice big crescent lunge. Hands reach up. Check the alignment of that front knee. Make sure knee is down towards ankle. Hands come to chest. Start to curve to bring hands to the outer side edge of that crescent. Maybe hands fly open and get a nice big twist, or perhaps they stay nice and closed. Inhale, hands come back to heart. Exhale, cartwheel these hands all the way down. Step the front foot to the back. Let's try a plank here. Nice solid plank pose, head pulling towards the front. Give it another round of breath. Stay strong through the belly, through those legs. Knees drop to earth, elbows slide alongside body. 1 cobra lift. Easy breath. Work the hands back even with breastbone. Toes curl under, push to knees. And then we're back to that downward dog. Walk it out. Small steps or large feet come to hands, half lifting with the long spine when you feel ready, folding back to earth. Inhale, reach up, look up, hands make connection above the head perhaps, and then come out and easy to the sides. All right, left foot becomes your balance foot, flamingo pose, hands at the heart. Lifting tall through the spine. As you feel ready, we'll let these toes just take a little peek backwards. And you can keep yourself more in a diagonal shape like I'm illustrating here, or you can allow for a little more tip. Toes, of course, are still planting down into the ground along with the heel of the foot that you're standing on. Toes on that lifted leg are shining lights down towards your mat. Toes on that back foot ease their way down. Let's look for crescent on this side. Knowing that you can put yourself almost on railroad tracks if that helps with balance. Separate the feet a little bit, right and left. Hands come up. Absorb that crescent. Hands coming down into your heart, taking the crescent twist. Hands moving to the outer edge of this front knee. Now they can stay right there, or you can add a little flight and open up wider. Knowing that we're keeping this front knee in line with about the second toe, if that works for you today. Watching that front knee. Hands come back together. Coming out of that crescent, hands will just go whoop, up and over. Wonderful. Step front foot back. Vinyasa of choice, or you can, of course, skip these if you'd like. If you're ready for a full Chaturanga Dandasana to upward dog, feel free to insert. Or take the kind of softer version, dropping down to your belly with an easy cobra. Or maybe you're even in child's pose right now, whatever works for you. Knowing that I'm just guiding you through these poses. Ultimately, it's up to you. All right, my friends, knees drop down into the earth. Walk the hands back towards your knees. If it feels okay to start to sit back onto your heels, feel free. Hands come and rest on the tops of the thighs. If that shape doesn't work for you, you can, of course, come to a high knee with a blanket underneath of you, or you can reach for a block to place back here, but you're not sitting down quite as far onto those heels. See if you don't reach the arms out nice and wide into a T shape, and then exhale, bring them out in front. Inhale, T. Exhale, bring them out in front. One more round. Inhale, T. Exhale, bring them out in front. Now, when they come out in front, go ahead and bend at the elbows. Bring yourself to a high prayer. If you're on a block, you're going to come off of that. Elbows will go down towards the earth. Hands will tuck back behind head. You can sit hips back onto the block where you had it, or you can remove that. Sit hips down onto heels. Walk the elbows as comfortable as they feel nice, walked away from the body. Walk them wherever they feel best as they start to stretch and open up those triceps along with the outer edges of the upper back. One more nice breath here. Beautiful. Hands reunite with the ground. We'll take this back up to that downward facing dog that we've come to be so familiar with today. Walking that out. All right, as you feel ready, opposite of what we've done before, walking hands towards feet this time. Bear walking back to the back of your mat. Find the half lift as it feels good in your own body. Fold down towards the earth. Plant the feet big. Inhale, reach up, look up. Hands come down and find the heart. We're going to step wide on our mats. However that feels like it makes the most sense to you. Bring your big toes to turn slightly in towards one another. If you have a block and you want to bring it and put it in mid-stance, you're welcome to. Hands are going to reach out nice and wide. Same as we did before. Exhale, hands come out in front. Inhale, take it back out to that T. But when you open to T this time, turn the fingertips back towards the wall behind you. Inhale out in front. Exhale back, or vice versa. Whatever breath pattern makes sense to you. Maybe inhaling when you open or exhaling. Doesn't really matter. Last one. Next time these hands are back together, go ahead and bend them just as we did before. And then we're just going to take a slight bend in the knees and fold all of this down towards the ground. Now you might have a block there, you're welcome to use that, or your hands might choose to use the earth, and the block might go under your head. If getting that close to the ground works for you. If not, just see where you are. Hands can even go on these blocks. You can take a micro bend in the knees if you need it, if the hamstrings are a little angry. All right, inhale breath, we're going to bring the chest up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring yourself up the rest of the way. And then let the arms come back to the T as you turn your left toes to face the edge of the mat, warrior two. Now our warrior two dance here is going to be a little bit different than usual. So the first one I'm going to do kind of slow with you so you can get the pattern. We're going to flip our left hand, Lean away from that front knee. And then you'll exhale, you'll go back into the warrior dance you're so comfortable with, elbow to knee, top hand reaching forward. Now this top hand's gonna continue to sweep down towards these toes. When it gets even with about this front foot, you start turning your front foot so it faces the side again. Sweep around, start turning the back foot, the other foot out, and you're in warrior two the other direction. Turn that hand to the sky, lean away. Back to side angle, elbow looking for a knee, top hand reaches up and over. Let it continue to sweep. Now when it gets even with this foot, turn the toes so that they face to the side. Continue to sweep around, turn those toes. So all the pivoting is done on my heels. Take some balance here. Take some strength within the ankles. So leaning away, back through. Let that arm continue to sweep. Now when it gets even with those toes, turn the toes. Pivot on that heel. Around. Beautiful. And then you open up the other way. Last one, lean away. Side angle. Let the hands sweep. Turn on those toes. This time keep both feet turned to the side and just turn yourself into a forward fold again. Head is hanging down. Now it might feel good this time to bring both hands to the center or to the mat. Right hand may stay planted on a block or on the floor as the left hand opens towards the sky. Exhale, bring that left hand down. Let's switch sides. Right hand lifts. Let it come back down. One more time, both directions. Inhale. And exhale. Opposite side. Add that twist. Inhale. And exhale. This time, half lift. Bring the chest up halfway. Pause there. Exhale it out. Next natural inhale brings you up the rest of the way. Left toes again are going to turn. This time keep the left leg straight. Now I'm really wide for my triangle. If that works for you, you can stay there. Otherwise you might need to shorten your stance just a little bit. My left leg stays straight as I start to reach out over the left leg and then tip into my triangle shape. And I have this block handy. If you want to bring it to the inside or the outside edge of that leg, feel free. Remembering to keep this chest, whatever design you have on your shirt, continuing to shine out into the middle of your space. Discouraging that top shoulder from dropping down. We want to see if we can keep it lifted. Pulling back into this hip crease. One more breath. Beautiful. Softening this front knee. Take your time. Come up and then straighten that front knee. Reverse triangle. Perfect. Bring it back to just a simple warrior two. Give it a side angle, elbow to knee, hand reaches up and over, long side body stretch. Again, the design on your t-shirt is angled out into space. Beautiful. Bring this back up, nice and strong. Straighten front leg, turn toes so they're both to the side. And then let's go the other way. So start setting up triangle on the other side. Check your alignment, heel and big toe perhaps, maybe even a slight inward turn of that back foot. Arms reach wide. My block is back here by my back foot, so I'm going to move it around. My arms reach wide again. Lean over. Tip to find your triangle. Knowing the hand can be on the inside or the outside. Obviously, outside's going to bring a little more challenge. Watch this arm in the air. Ideally, we're stacking shoulder on shoulder. I'm seeing if I can keep my chest nice and turned and open. I'm pulling back into this back hip, absorbing here, lifting there. There's lots of stuff happening. Stay in your space, relax your neck. Keep aiming a little higher. One more breath. Beautiful. Start to soften that knee. Bring it up, warrior two. Straighten front leg, lean away, reverse warrior. Or reverse triangle rather. Bend in the knee. Side angle. Reach up and over again. Open that chest. Keep the design of your shirt angled to the side. Back up from here. Arms drop. Toes turn to the front. All right, see if you can just turn the heels slightly in, 1 or 2 steps, bending the knees outward. Just kind of dropping the feet down right into the middle here. Absorbing a little weight into those legs. Hands might reach out. They might offer here. They may come out in front. Or you may try to lift tall. It's all different ways that we can kind of play around with our arms here. Seeing what feels good in your shoulders. Seeing what strength you can find. One more good breath. Inhale to straighten legs. Exhale, turn toes forward and take a last fold forward. So when we take this fold forward, take it right into a ragdoll shape. Your feet are a little wider than traditional ragdoll. You might ankle toe or heel toe those in a little closer, or you might keep them wide. You might start to take big bends in the knees and really sway side to side. All right, hands looking for the earth. Start to bring the feet in towards one another. Heeling toe until they're close. And then we're just going to drop into a squat. Knees bend. Maybe your forehead starts to come down towards the tops of the knees. Maybe your hands can leave the earth and hold you in balance. Maybe not. Squats don't always fit all of us either. So if this shape doesn't work for you, you can of course lower your feet down to the earth and remove yourself from the squat. One more nice breath. Cleansing and detoxing those internal organs. It's a nice shape here. All right, as you feel ready, hands start to walk slightly back behind you. Bring your feet down to earth. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me again. But I'm going to extend my legs nice and long out in front. I'm going to keep blocks handy, just in case I decide I want to use those. Hands are going to lift up nice and strong and tall. Exhale, fold over the legs. Keeping those blocks handy might be nice here. It gives me a place to plant the hands as I start to hinge right at that hip crease. Pull with the crown of my head to make my spine nice and long. One more tip, one more breath. Inhale, bring chest up. Right knee is going to come in towards the body. Sit tall, getting close. Point and flex the toes a little bit on that right foot. Maybe bring it up off the ground. And then I want you to just switch your hands to the back of the thigh and extend that right foot. So it may be way down here, maybe way up here. You might have a toe grab. Just see where you can be. And then bend that right knee, step it over and across this left leg. Left hand reaches around, maybe giving it a little hug as I extend nice and tall up through my spine and add a little twist. Look over that shoulder. Excellent. Obviously, making sure our spine stays tall. We don't want to surrender into hunching of the shoulders. Perfect. Coming out of that shape. This top leg's going to come over and across, and then let the knee fall out and down to the side. Toes point up to the ceiling, hands reach up, hinge and fold at hip creases, and fold down over that leg. Inhale, bring it up. So this leg that's been long down the mat, we're going to bring our hands back even behind us and bend that knee that's been long. Now your knee that's been kind of hanging out here to the side, that foot's going to come up and lay itself on top of the knee. Now for some of us, this might be right where we stay. For others, you might be able to walk this in a little closer, get a nice big stretch for the piriformis, the outer edges of the hip, kind of rock this around. You can kind of play with the hands. It might feel better for them to be turned backwards or to the sides. This can rock a little bit. It can stay really steady. You can really lean into it or keep the head back. One more breath. All right, walking that foot a little bit away from you probably feels nice as you start to come down from that. And then we'll let our legs go long. Just jog them out just a little bit. And then we'll start to bring the left knee into the body. Point and flex, roll the toes. Good. Switching grip to the back of this leg, we'll extend it just as you did before. Maybe it was a toe grab, or maybe it was just kind of pushing through that heel of the foot as you work hard on trying to keep your spine tall. For some of us, this is really difficult to do, and we find that we would have been better served maybe reaching for a blanket, giving ourselves just a little tip under the tail. That might have been helpful there. Probably should have pointed that out on the first side. All right, bend this knee, let it come over, step across. Right arm starts to give it a little hug. Maybe it's more just hands here. Maybe for others, it's a big full hug. Chest starts to turn away from that knee, or towards that knee rather, looking over left shoulder. Again, keeping the spine tall, crown of the head lifted. Unwinding from your twist, the chest starts to come back forward. Knee comes up, across, starts to fall out to the side. Hinge at that hip crease, fold towards the toes. Now when you've got your blocks handy here, they can be an assistant somewhere, if that feels good. Blocks can even be a way to make this a little more advanced, bringing the block to the bottom of the foot. You can reach for the outer edges of the block to get a deeper stretch as flexibility improves. Or maybe you're just one of those who just got born that way, a little more flexible. Just pay attention to your own body, knowing that those big shapes are not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is trying to find the ease in each pose. Staying within it with your breath. Start to bring the chest up. This leg that has been long, that is going to be the one that bends. This one that's kind of laying over here on the ground, that one gets to come up and hang out on top of this knee. And again, you can kind of rock this a little bit side to side. You can pull this in real tight or push it away a little further. All right, my friends, start to come out of that shape. Let the feet plant themselves on the floor. One last test of strength. If you've got a block behind you or a blanket, go ahead and get that out of the way. We're going to turn our hands to face towards us and just lift the hips up off the ground in a crab walk. Looking down your belly, looking down towards your knees, or maybe letting the head fall back. Perfect. Hips start to drop down towards earth. Lifting toes. Hands might offer behind thighs or out fully. Spine is long. Beautiful. Feet come down towards ground. Start to settle back towards your back. If you want to take one or both blocks with you, feel free. I'm going to leave you with a lot of freedom here as we start to close today's practice. Not a lot of time, but a lot of freedom. So if you want to kind of rock around a little bit, if you want to fall into bound angle, let the feet come together and the knees go apart. If you want to jump right into a, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, a relaxed inversion, feel free to do so. Maybe a block slid underneath the back with the feet lifted. Or maybe you're ready for Savasana, but just take a couple moments for a few poses to let things kind of settle. If the low back feels a little achy today, maybe it's been a while and tested its strength today, maybe you need to put blocks just right underneath those outer edges or under edges of the knees, so let the back have a little bit more space. Take whatever shape makes sense to you as you start to settle in to what we're going to call today your final rest, the last pose of today's practice. Savasana is intended to let everything settle back into place. All the work we've done, whether it be mental or physical, we'll use these last final moments just to quiet both the mind and your physical body. Slowly starting to allow gentle movements back in. They're going to be small, wiggling toes, wiggling fingers, maybe letting the head slide ever so slowly back and forth on the mat. If you've been flat on your back, maybe you bend your knees, maybe you walk the knees up, place them in towards the chest, hug them tight, or kind of let them loosely rock right and left. And then when you feel ready, we're going to move to our right-hand side, resting there just for a moment in a side-lying Savasana, maybe using your arm as a pillow. Coming back up to your feet only when you feel it's time. Sometimes we need an extra breath or two in that side-lying Savasana, and that's okay. Bringing the hands into the heart as you come to your seat, letting palm rest on palm. Take just a quiet moment for reflection, seeing how you feel in this space right now. I greatly appreciate you finding this time for yourself, not only for your physical body, but for your mind and spirit as well. To have a chance to move and breathe alongside us virtually here at SIFT. May you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again. Namaste.